Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeremy, and I am the host of Triple Threat on WXJM, Harrisonburg Radio, and 88.7 FM. Today, I am joined by my co-host Haden and Shane. They will be in studio in just about a minute or so. So, as always, I would like to start off our show with the JMU Sports Report. Here's what we got today. This is a big one. I'll get to the reason why later on in the show when my co-hosts can join me. I will start off with the football for now. The football team improved to 6-1 on the season and 4-1 in conference play after a 22-10 win over 23rd ranked Delaware. In that game, the Dukes, they held Delaware to just 108 total yards, which, honestly, solid defense right there in my opinion. And with their absolute domination on their defense, they moved back into the top 5, claiming the number 5 spot on the FCS rankings, jumping up 2 ranks from last week where they were 7th ranked. If you remember, kicker Ethan Ratke, who we mentioned last week, CAA Special Teams Player of the Week, tying a school record with 4 field goals made. Well, he's still mad from that game that he lost, that the Dukes lost that one weekend against Villanova. And you know what he did? He broke that record that he tied last week. He hit 5 field goals last weekend, and that breaks a JMU record for most field goals in a single game. On top of that, he won the CAA Special Teams Player of the Week for the 2nd time in a row and 3rd time overall this season. The next game is versus Elon this Saturday at home. Just as I finish this football segment, I am now joined in studio by my co-host Shane and Haden.
Haden's still getting set up, so you'll hear him later. Don't worry, folks.
Welcome to men's golf section now. The golf team may be off until February, but you know what? That did not stop George Heath from winning the CAA Men's Golfer of the Week for his excellent performance at the Wolfpack Intercollegiate last week. Congratulations to him. Men's soccer, currently 10-4-1 on the season, after and 4-2 in conference after a 0-1-1 week. They started with a 0-0 tie on Tuesday versus American, and they followed that up by a 1-0 loss against 19th ranked Hofstra. That game was actually a rematch of last year's title match. Unfortunately, we did lose this one.
It's like 1-0, right?
1-0, yeah.
Yeah, defensive, matchup.
Yeah. Next week, they have one game at home. That is a conference game, Saturday versus Drexel. The men's tennis team finished their fall season, at the ITA Atlantic Super Regionals on Monday. The double tandem of Holden Coons and William Karpinski made it all the way to the quarterfinals before falling to the 4th-ranked duo in the region from UVA.
Oh, they lost?
They made it to the quarterfinals, so this is kind of like a NCAA March Madness kind of style bracket.
Oh, okay.
So they advanced 2 rounds, made it to the Sweet 16.
Oh, no, because I was trying to look into it, and I saw they made it to the quarterfinals. I didn't know they lost.
Right, no, they made it all the way to the quarterfinals, which is incredible. I believe, someone's going to have to fact check me on this, but I believe this is the best finish in men's tennis history. I could be completely wrong about that, but I think I read somewhere that this is their best finish. Or maybe that was for the women's tennis. I don't remember.
Darn, because I was doing research for the show. I don't know. I guess I just didn't see the right article or something.
That's all right. We got it down. So they finished after their impressive showing. they finished with a record of 7-3 on the season total. That's solid. That means, out of all the tournaments, they only failed to win 3 of them. Awesome. The women's basketball team, they kick off their season with an exhibition match versus Shepherd on Monday. So obviously, preseason doesn't count, exhibition game, but we get to see the women's basketball team in action this coming week.
Yeah, good luck to them, and get warmed up for the season.
Now I got field hockey. They're currently 10-6 on the year, 5-0 in conference, after going 1-1 last week, winning their one conference game versus Drexel 6-1 on Friday, but unfortunately falling to Louisville in a hard-fought overtime game, 0-1.
Another one.
Yeah. Louisville was ranked 4th in the country.
That'll do it.
Which is awesome that they're in it this
yeah.
far. And this proves some of these sports come out with rankings the day after our show. Field hockey is one of them. Last week, the Dukes were moved to the number 25 spot in the top 25 poll, the NFHCA Division I poll. And on top of that, which is why they were. It proves it's the right thing. They hung in tough with the 4th ranked team. But on top of that, this is super exciting. Not one, but 2 players were awarded weekly awards on the field hockey team. Goalkeeper Florian Markussen won the CAA Player of the Week, and midfielder/forward Cassidy Strittmatter won the CAA Rookie of the Week.
Yeah, because I shouted out Markussen because she got the shutout, and I was like, all right, yeah, go goalies. It's good to. It's really weird having this delay because you shout out these players for what they have accomplished this weekend, and then a week later you get the by the way, CAA Player of the Week.
All right, yeah, I know, it's awesome. This is the first time that this is the first time that we've had 2 in one sport.
Could I say technically called it? Because I gave her a shout out a bit.
I'll give you that.
All right,
I'll
take
it. Yeah. Yeah? Meh?
Who wouldn't give her Player of the Week? Shutout for a goalie? Gotta show the goalie some love for the shutout.
I could do that, let's be honest.
Oh, not this again.
You can do everything but snap. You know how it works.
Yeah, we are going to move on. So they finished their regular season next week with one conference game at William and Mary on Friday.
Oh, speaking of next week's Player of the Week.
Yeah, let's see it. What do you think?
Eveline Zwager had 4 goals against Drexel. If a 4-goal day doesn't get you CAA Player of the Week, is that the right conference?
Yep.
If that doesn't get you Player of the Week, I don't know what will.
Because
4 goals for field hockey, that's an incredible game.
Oh, it absolutely is.
And she had 3 goals in 7 minutes.
Well, the rankings come out Tuesday, so later on the day we will find out.
So hopefully this will age well, but congratulations to Eveline Zwager for CAA Player of the Week.
Right.
So next week we can see if we're right.
All right. Got women's golf. And the women's golf and the men's golf team actually had basically mirroring weeks. Super interesting.
Yeah.
Much like the men's golf team, the women's golf team is also done until February. But, much like the men's golf team, that did not stop Amelia Williams from being named CAA Women's Golfer of the Week for her performance at last week's tournament. Congratulations.
Oh, by the way, so for men's golf, Heath, right?
George Heath, yeah.
Yeah, do you know the Heath bar?
I do know the Heath bar,
Yeah,
Shane.
so the Heath bar is English, just like him.
Is he English?
Yeah,
It
he's
sounds
from,
very English.
I believe he's from Manchester.
Manchester?
Yeah, so he's from Europe. So I thought that was interesting that he's European, he's from England. So there's the Heath bar.
Yeah, no, I didn't,
I just thought that was interesting and point out. And then Amelia Williams, she's from Florida.
All right, yeah. So here's what we got now. We got the women's lacrosse team. we mentioned that we had trouble finding the stats. They finished off their slate on Sunday with the Loyola playing games. Shane, would you like to explain why we couldn't find their stats?
It turns out they're a spring sports team, so of course there's not going to be any information out them until the season starts in like February. So, yeah, we probably should have figured that out because as I played lacrosse in high school and it was always like in the spring, so.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes you feel better. I don't know how to read, so like.
It's pretty great for a college student and journalism major.
It counts.
It's
You
not
know?
really that necessary, is it?
Who needs to read anyway?
Not me.
Exactly.
Definitely not me. So we got women's soccer. They are currently 7-8-1 on the year, and they're 4-3 in conference play. After going 2-0 last week, winning 3-2 at the College of Charleston on Thursday, and then 1-0 William and Mary on Sunday, with an overtime winner by Ginger Deal in Golden Goal. If you don't know, Golden Goal, just basically first goal wins. Top of that, awesome news.
We have
Freshman Amanda Atanasi. I nailed that. I don't know why I paused.
Yeah, we went over.
We did go over. Yeah, we did.
went over this beforehand.
Yeah, Amanda Atanasi was named CAA Offensive Player of the Week. I mean,
I have more to add on that.
please do.
So she's the first freshman to put up a 2-goal game since 2011.
That's a long time ago.
She had 2 goals and a game-winning assist in overtime.
Nice.
And she is tied for the team lead in points. And she's a freshman.
That is awesome. That's
As a freshman,
that
she's
shows incredible promise for JMU's
leading
team
the
in the future.
points. It's
Yeah.
like we're gonna hear her name said a lot throughout these next years at JMU. So
Absolutely.
get used to hearing her name, Amanda Atanasi.
That is awesome. So they finish up the regular season this week, actually. 2 conference games, both at home. First versus Elon on Thursday, and then they have their senior night versus Delaware on Halloween at noon. So let's go Dukes. Go Dukes. Swim and dive. The women's swim and dive team is currently 0-2 on the year and 0-1 in conference play after losing 176.5 to 123.5 at Duskins on Friday. There wasn't. I mean, they look to turn around their season at the CAA pod meet on November 6th and 7th against 4 teams from the CAA. Delaware, William and Mary. Sorry, I don't know why I said 4. It's 3 teams: Delaware, William and Mary, and UNCW. Excuse me. So, good luck. So I mentioned the women's team briefly earlier. They finished their ITA Super Regionals on Monday. In the tournament, Daria Offensieva fell to the number 1 ranked player in the region in the round of 16.
This is women's tennis, right?
This is women's tennis,
Okay.
yes. They finish up their slate with their next competition at the Seahawk Ocean Open Classic, November 5th to November 7th. Volleyball team is currently 13-5 on the season, 7-3 in the conference, and they split their 2 games last week versus UNCW. They lost the first match 3-2, and then swept the next match 3-0. Over the weekend, in that first match, Caroline Dozer reached 1,000 career assists.
Wow.
Yeah, I was trying to find JMU career assist leader. They did not have a list, but 1,000 career assists is insane.
That just sounds impressive.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
It's one of those things where you don't know anything about the sport, but you just hear that and you know that's an amazing accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Oh, and to follow up, volleyball team, they are 5-0 following a loss.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
We may never
I
lose
feel
another game.
really bad for the team who has to face the Dukes following a loss, because you just might as well put an L in that column.
Well, unfortunately, Northeastern is not having us following a loss. But we are playing 2 games against Northeastern. Hopefully,
They're
no doubt in my
guaranteed
mind.
one loss in there.
No doubt in my mind, we don't lose a single one of these games.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're definitely coming away with at least an L.
one more thing, two more things, but I'll circle back to the second thing. CAA Players of the Week. I believe, I'm actually certain, this is a record since we've been doing this show. Would you like to guess how many CAA Players of the Week the JMU Dukes have gotten?
Let me see if I can remember. So we have Ethan Ratke. We have the goalie for field hockey. What was her name? Markison. We have Amanda Tonnesy. We have the two golfers. Probably missing somebody, but let's just say 6.
Absolutely right. You nailed it. There were
Let's go.
6 Dukes who won the weekly awards. I'll run through them real quick. Amelia Williams, women's golf, CAA Women's Golfer of the Week. George Heath, CAA Men's Golfer of the Week. Ethan Ratke, Men's Football CAA Special Teams Player of the Week. Florian Markison, Field Hockey Player of the Week. Cassidy Strittmatter, Field Hockey CAA Rookie of the Week. And Amanda Atanasi, with Women's Soccer CAA Offensive Player of the Week. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of the segment that I was really excited to do this segment. That's because there was some major news coming out about JMU this week. Now, I'm going to preface this with these are just rumors right now, and nothing has been confirmed.
Wait, Jeremy, real quick.
Yeah.
What was the segment that we just finished?
The JMU Sports Report.
On where can you find that?
On WXJM Harrisonburg at 88.7 on your FM dial, if you are in Harrisonburg. WXJM.
Thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome. But I'd like to preface this, like I said, that these are just rumors. Nothing's confirmed. But the rumors state that JMU, along with a few other schools, will be moving from the CAA to the Sun Belt Conference. Expected this came out on Friday, but they in the article it said they expect an official announcement sometime early this week. So I was kind of hoping it come before the show so we could have more concrete on it. But I think this is huge news. This is going to affect the football team the most, because they're going to be moving from the FCS to the BCS. For those who don't know college football all that well, the FCS is kind of like 1A, well, the BCS is level 1. There's Division 1, 2, and 3. The BCS is still Division 1, but it's Division 1A, as opposed to just Division 1. So we're moving from Division 1A to Division 1.
So we're moving into a better division.
Yes. We're moving into the same. So right now we're ranked number 5 overall, right?
Yeah.
We're not competing with schools like Alabama and Notre Dame and those schools,
obviously,
right?
Yeah.
Now we would be competing with those teams.
Sweet.
Now the top 25 poll, we would be in that one. So it's going to be we're not going to be competing for championships immediately. Hopefully they were talking about expanding the playoff field to 12 teams. Hope maybe we can shock some people and get in. That'd be awesome. We're not getting top 4. I can guarantee that.
Oh, I know. Let's have reasonable expectations.
I'm not even certain we'd get top 25, but I mean
We'll get there at some point.
At some point, and I think it's awesome that we're making that jump now. Especially in a conference, it's a great time to do it because this conference has Coastal Carolina, who recently made this same jump from BCS to FCS. And they are currently, as of last week, they were ranked 14th in the nation. So if we have a team that can consistently beat and compete with a top 25 program, that's going to boost us immensely, which is awesome. This, from what I can tell, this probably won't take effect for at least a year, or at least a semester. All these fall sports will finish out the CAA schedule because it's already come out. They can't scrap the schedule right now. Also, this isn't even official. But I think this is massive news for the school. This will secure more funding. This will get more attention on us, hopefully. I'm really excited about this. I don't know if you guys had thoughts about it.
I mean, like, that's how I found out about schools. I just knew if they existed, whether or not they had a football team.
Exactly.
Because it's like, if they didn't have a football team, I had no idea who you were. So it really helps, like, get your like foot in the door to like exposing yourself to new students.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people, you saw it. There was a big jump. Do you remember when Virginia lost to the 16 seed?
Oh, for basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a huge jump in applications to that school directly after that game. Like, it's a direct correlation.
Oh yeah.
If your sports teams are good and you get national attention, you're going to attract more people. You're going to attract better people. It's just great for the school all around.
Oh yeah.
So I'm super excited about that.
I'd also like to mention one of those teams that could be included in the Sun Belt
Go for
was my hometown, in Hampton Roads area, ODU. So it'd be cool to like see come down and trash talk my brother if their teams faced each other. That'd be a cool thing to do.
And ODU used to be in the CAA.
Yeah.
So that's like an actual rivalry we used to have that is going to get reignited, which is super exciting. I love to hear that.
Yeah. I would love to like go to a football game with my twin brother and we each root for the opposite team.
Right. That sounds like fun.
And then like ODU, they upset Virginia Tech. I can't remember when, but I know it happened because it was like all over ESPN. It was like one of the biggest upsets of the year.
Right.
So it's just like, why can't we do the same thing
Absolutely.
against stronger competition?
No, I completely agree. And I can't say how excited I am about this. I mean, obviously, rumors, nothing's confirmed. But hopefully, fingers crossed, something like this does happen.
Amen.
That's all I had for today on the Sports Report. If you would like to jump into hockey for us, Shane, what do you got for us?
No problem. All right, so first off, I missed this contract extension. There was a lot of contract extensions last week, so one fell through the cracks. So Matthias Ekholm of the Nashville Predators, he is a defenseman, just got a 4-year, $25 million extension. That's 6.25 AAV. So he's like already in his 30s, and the Predators, they're kind of like a mediocre team. So they're good enough not to suck, but they're not bad enough to tank for a really good prospect. So they're stuck in mediocrity, which is the worst place you can be in sports. And I really, there was a bunch of rumors that he was going to get traded at the deadline last season, but since the Predators went on a hot streak and clinched that final spot in the playoffs, they just kept him so they could keep the momentum going. But it's a fair contract. He's definitely worth it, but it's just this team needs to rebuild, and they're just doing this thing where they're getting rid of players, yet they're signing these guys to deals. So they're just setting themselves up for mediocrity and failure.
Right.
So you hate to see it.
Absolutely. You can't be doing that.
And speaking of tanking and losing so you can get young prospects, the Detroit Red Wings have been quite awful, but looks like some of the pieces are finally coming together for them, because the 2020 fourth overall pick had 3 goals and 1 assist for the Blackhawks. So in his 6th career NHL game, he got a hat trick.
Is that the earliest, do you know?
Huh?
Do you know if that's the fastest career amount of games?
Oh, no, because Austin Matthews got a hat trick in his rookie debut.
All right.
And he was younger than Raymond. Austin Matthews will forever be the most famous rookie start in NHL history, because he, 4 goals in your first game as a 19-year-old.
That's incredible.
I could do it.
Yeah, you could. I believe in you, Haden.
I believe in me too.
So the last 19-year-old Detroit Red Wing to just score a hat trick was Steve Yzerman, the current GM of the franchise.
He's pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, so he just drafted a kid who pretty much did the same thing as him. So that's a really good sign. And the only other Detroit rookies to put up 4 points in a game were Gordie Howe and Steve Yzerman. Both those guys are in the Hall of Fame.
They're probably pretty good, right?
Widely known.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Kind of considered some of the greatest players of all time.
More like
Nah.
the Hall of
And
Fame.
you're in the same list as them.
Oh,
That was a good one, Jerry.
that was pretty good.
Yeah, high five.
The amount of disrespect.
I mean, when he hits you with the Hall of Lame, you know, you gotta game respect game, you know.
I don't know. It's just like sacrilegious to me over here. Speaking of Hall of Fame, McDavid has 13 points in 5 games. I know small sample size, but that's like a 200-point pace season. But
I believe in him. He can do it.
Do you think he can put up Lemieux-like numbers?
Yeah.
And reach that milestone that only Gretzky's reached?
I think he absolutely has the ability to put up numbers like those guys.
Yeah. Well, because people say, like, 150 points, that's a bit of a stretch. Like, for McDavid, no, that is not a stretch.
No, I think it's absolutely possible for him to do something like that. He's an incredible talent. I mean, he has the goal-scoring ability. I mean, that's not, you don't see that in a lot of players. And obviously, I mean, he can pass like nobody's business. It's incredible what he's doing. I mean, he's one of, if not the best player in the NHL right now.
He is the best, undoubtedly the best.
Not even Austin Matthews?
Well, Austin Matthews hasn't even put up like that many points yet. Like he's on a bit of a cold streak right now.
Right, but I don't think it's even in doubt that he has the capability and ability to do it. It's more of a question: is he healthy enough to stay with this production throughout the season?
So, and he's probably gonna like walk his way to another MVP too. Like he's like, in my opinion, he's offensively undoubtedly better than Crosby at this point in his career. It's just he just doesn't have the team around him to get as far as Crosby did. Crosby had a really good infrastructure around him. That's why he won his championship in like one of his early years. Hopefully McDavid can do that too. It'd be great for the game, but we'll just see how that goes. In other news, Seattle had their home opener this Saturday.
They did. How'd that go for them?
So the atmosphere was great. Sold out building, jerseys, they're beautiful Seattle jerseys were everywhere. The crowd was hype. They had the lead. And then the Vancouver Canucks proceed to score 4 straight.
Not the Canucks.
Yeah. I mean, geographically, they're probably going to be their rival because that's the closest city to them.
Right.
And then I actually had a teacher who was a Vancouver Canucks fan. She was from Seattle, but she rooted for Vancouver because that was the closest NHL team.
Do you know if she's switching?
Oh, yeah, she is. She was, we talked about it my sophomore year. It was like, oh, did you hear they're getting an expansion team? And she was like, oh, yeah, I'm so excited about that. And she was a hockey fan, so ironically, I wrote an essay about the Vegas Golden Knights and how they could actually do well in the playoffs. And she gave me a good grade on that paper.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. Always got to love the hockey fan teachers.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so it's like, this is looking great as an expansion franchise. Their fan base seems really into it. You know, Russell Wilson was at that game. I cannot state this enough. Their jerseys are so awesome. Like, for just, like, fashion, like, I would buy their jerseys. Like, I'm not even a fan of the Kraken. I don't want to bandwagon off them, but their jerseys are so nice. And
so, actually, they're on their social media, they've been, like, kind of promoting about like articles and stuff, like teaching people the game.
Oh yeah.
And stuff, and I think that's really cool. Like trying to teach these new fans like all the little intricacies of hockey.
Yeah.
I think that's really beneficial.
Like who knows? We may have like more hockey players from Seattle now because of this. I mean, we got Austin Matthews from Arizona. If Arizona can produce an NHL talent like Austin Matthews, why can't Seattle?
Exactly right.
And what's kind of cool about the arena is it's like a subterranean arena, so you actually have to go down an escalator in order to get there. And you know, the Seattle Kraken, the Kraken is like a deep sea creature, so I think it's kind of cool that you're going down into the depths of the Kraken lair.
Is it really like that?
Yeah, so like their stadium's underground.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so you're in the Kraken, that's so cool.
That is awesome, I love that.
This built to succeed. Unfortunately though, they're not going to have the same beginning success like Vegas had right off the bat, but it's going to be a great franchise for years to come.
That's awesome.
It's going to be a great team to play for.
Real quick before you finish with hockey, we actually have some WXJM and JMU events to announce real quick.
Yeah, so later today, there's a movie night at the Swamp for the Mac Rock fundraiser at 8 p.m. There's also the University Program Board, right, UPB?
Yeah.
Try It Tuesday at TDU from 6 to 7. And then on the 28th, which is Thursday, there's a late night breakfast at TDU at 10 p.m. On the 28th, same day, women's soccer versus Elon at 7 p.m. And then on the 29th, Rocky Horror at the community theater at 9 p.m. Same day, there's a field hockey game. Who's playing in that game again, Jeremy? What's the
29th, you say?
William and Mary?
Probably. Hold on, I need to pull up what I wrote down.
I think it says at William and Mary versus William and Mary.
Yeah, William and Mary. Yeah.
And then on the 30th, Saturday, there's Rocky Horror at the community theater at 9 p.m. There's also the Crayola Mac Rock cover show at 9 p.m. And there's also the Fall Formal at the Festival Ballroom from 5 to 11:45 p.m., obviously. And on Halloween, there's the Mac Rock cover show at the Golden Pony at 9 p.m. Yeah, that's everything on here, I believe.
All right, thank you so much, Hayden, for running through the events. Sorry to interrupt your hockey segment.
No problem.
Continue.
So, a few other things I want to cover. The Pittsburgh Penguins. They are doing surprisingly well. Like, I don't know how they're 3-0-2 right now. Like,
pretty good.
They absolutely smoked Tampa Bay in their first game. They smoked the Maple Leafs, and they haven't had a regulation loss yet. And like, there's like nobody on that roster that like played any like. I don't know how they are doing it with their guys. Like, Evan Rodriguez is their first line center.
I don't even know who that is.
I didn't even know who that it was till last season.
That's insane.
Yeah, because he was like, he was just like a bottom six guy on Pittsburgh last year. So like, he's not getting that much ice time. And like, put him as your first line center. You're like, all right, there's no way this team's doing well. But Mike Sullivan is proving why he's one of the best coaches in the league. If he's winning with this team, and a lot of players are stepping up. Like, the goaltending's improved. Jari's looking better. Dan Marino, the 24-year-old, the defenseman, he's looking great. It's just, this team will not die.
Like Dan Marino?
I know his last name's Marino. I may have got his...
Because Dan Marino
Maybe
was
it's
a...
John. I think it's John Marino.
Because Dan Marino was the
quarterback
for the Miami Dolphins. I was going to say, did he reincarnate himself or something? Try to actually win a championship this time?
Two-sport athlete.
Yeah.
Went back 30 years, too.
So keep in mind, this team did not have Jake Getzel at the beginning. Jake Getzel's back, but they didn't have him at the beginning of the season. They didn't have Crosby. They didn't have Malkin. They don't have Brian Rust, one of their best wingers. Jeff Carter, their third-line center, who was promoted to the first line, he's out due to COVID protocol, and that's why Evan Rodriguez was promoted. And Chris Letang is also out. And they're still winning games.
Here's the money question. Can they keep it up?
Very valid question. I'm just surprised they've gotten this far to begin with.
What do you think, though?
Crosby's coming back soon.
Do you think so? That's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Crosby, obviously super talented, but with a bunch of like young guys that nobody knows, that could throw a wrench in their team chemistry if you bring back a star. Obviously, could also not, but there's a possibility it does. Do you think, I mean, obviously you don't think that's going to happen because Crosby is good enough. He's incredible.
Yeah.
But do you think adding a star like Crosby back could take away some of that momentum, take away some of that camaraderie that they built up with this like small ball, for lack of a better term, kind of environment that they built in Pittsburgh right now?
I'm going to say no, just because Mike Sullivan always pulls off this BS. Because I feel like he always has like this thing where Pittsburgh has a crap ton of injuries. It looks like they're going to like not be good. And then all of a sudden, they just beat a bunch of teams with like all their star players gone. Like, I think this goes to show how good of a coach Mike Sullivan's been. It's just like, I didn't think things could get any worse for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Mike Sullivan is still finding a way to do it for now. But you bring up a very valid point. Can this be sustained? And we'll just have to see.
Right. No, that's super interesting.
Yeah. And for final points, we have to talk about the most local team, the Washington Capitals. We always have to talk about them. what really surprised me about this season is that they went with Vitek Vanacek as the starter, and what it looks like over Ilya Samsonov. And Vitek Vanacek, VV, he is killing it. He has played in 4 games so far, and he has a .920 save percentage and a .210 goals against average.
All right.
So
Was he the goalie tonight?
it's very good that we got traded that second-round pick to get him back from Seattle.
Right.
So I'm very happy with that decision because he's been lighting it up so far.
Was he the goalie tonight, do you know?
No, that was Samsonov, but we won 7-5, so...
Right, that's why I was asking.
Yeah. It was Samsonov to my fantasy team's detriment because I thought Samsonov was going to be the starter because, he's the first-round pick.
Right.
But Vitek Vanacek was like, nah, taking his job.
Absolutely.
You traded back to get me, and now I'm your starter.
Well, now he's worth a 6th round and a 2nd round pick.
Oh, 100%.
So
it'll be interesting to see how the season progresses and see if he can still maintain that spot. But right now, it's all his.
Right.
Ovechkin has had a hot start to the year. He has 7 goals, 5 assists in 11 games played. 36 years old, still killing it. Or Ovechkin is going to break the record at some point. And then Kuznetsov, the guy who was rumored to be on the trade block this season, also has been lighting up 4 goals, 5 assists in 9 games so far.
Well, there's the reason why the Caps are killing it.
Oh, yeah, because
we
needed Kuznetsov to be good.
That's what I was saying at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
If Kuznetsov can get back to 2018 form,
yeah,
they will be golden.
Even without Backstrom.
But I did not trust Kuznetsov to get back to form, and if he can keep this up, I see no reason why the Caps can't be very good this year. I think he's the key. He always will.
Definitely was the X factor, especially with Backstrom being out. We needed him to perform, and he's done just that. And with that, that concludes all the hockey news I wanted to talk about for this week.
I got one thing real quick.
All right.
Jack Eichel. He and his camp, they met with the Sabres on Thursday to try one last time to convince them to let him get the disc replacement surgery. I'm not entirely sure how that goes. I did not see a follow-up to that story. But I'm assuming this is the last-ditch effort to stay on the team. I don't know why he's trying to do this. I don't know his motivations, but I can only assume that the Pagula said no.
That is so petty.
I can only assume. Because this is what they've done for so long.
It's just like, it's so weird if they let him have it now. Because congratulations, you just wasted all that time for him to just now get the surgery, but I guess it's better late than never.
So this is an announcement of the surgery. They were just trying to convince him.
I know, I'm just saying if they say yes, it would just be then what the heck was that entire point then?
Yeah.
Why did you wait until now? But for Jack Eichel, I hope he gets the surgery. But who knows? It's just a very weird situation. It just... Imagine just wanting out of there and then being all right, I'm going to get the surgery and then just get back to playing hockey. It's just he's got to be traded. For his sake and for the NHL's sake, he just needs to get out of there. Right. Things are not going to... if he stays, that's just... ruins what you're doing in Buffalo.
Absolutely. That makes sense.
I just want to see Jack Eichel, one of the best players in the world, one of the best American players in the world, just play good hockey again.
Yeah.
And that's all I have on that.
All right. If we are done with hockey, you done?
Yeah.
All right. Hayden, would you like to get into some baseball for us?
Baseball?
Yeah, you know.
Of course.
They're kind of in the thick of their season right now.
Yeah, it's only the World Series.
Yeah, when does that start? Tomorrow or something? Yeah, it starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow or today?
It starts Tuesday, 8 o'clock, which I guess is today.
That's today.
Yeah.
Braves, Astros. I think I was the closest to being right.
I think you were actually the furthest from being right, if I remember correctly.
I said Braves.
That was the second round.
Red Sox.
We're talking
After
about
the teams got eliminated.
That's all that matters.
I mean, if
the latest, most updated prediction.
Look, man. If you're gonna say I can change my predictions every single round, that doesn't count. You got to go with your predictions from day one, which was, if I remember correctly, the what was it?
Look, my predictions day one.
What was it? The
Reds winning the division. Okay.
Right. I'm just saying.
No, I would like
You
to
were
change
the
my
wrongest.
prediction, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Braves and Astros.
Yo, me too, actually.
Yeah. So we were right from the
Yeah,
very
we were
beginning.
actually the most correct.
Yeah.
See, now
That's our official predictions.
This is literally the most strawman argument I've ever listened to before.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what?
It's just not a good argument.
I mean, okay, whatever. I'm just saying you were the most
I
wrong
think you're being
out
a
of all
little
of us.
bit hypocritical over here.
I'm not being hypocritical.
Your
now you're
team's-
shifting the blame.
Your team survived the least amount of games, is all I'm saying. Shane was actually the most right.
Was he?
His team survived the most amount of games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because my... Actually, you know what? Me and Shane tied. I lied.
Yeah, because didn't we both have Dodgers and Tampa?
No, I had Dodgers and White Sox. The Tampa and the Chicago, they both won one game. Unlike,
What was his original prediction?
Brewers Rays.
Brewers Rays, yeah.
They
won
won a great World Series.
They won
Way better.
2 games total in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I mean, we won a little bit more.
Anyways. Yeah, it's Braves Astros. Eddie Rosario, who, if you told me Eddie Rosario was going to win the NLCS MVP at the beginning of the year, I would have told you were crazy. But here we are now.
Crazy things have happened.
That would be
Crazy
insane. He was on an AL team at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he also almost hit for the cycle in the playoffs. Instead, he settled for a 2-home-run game.
What's the cycle?
When he hit a single, a double, a triple, and a home run.
Yeah.
He was a double away from the cycle.
Yeah, and instead of hitting a double, he hit a home run.
Ah,
If it was just a little, if it was like 2 degrees lower, it would have bounced off the wall and been a double.
I think you're really overestimating how much a singular degree
I'm not.
is.
It like barely. It was a line
Okay.
drive over the wall. It barely made it over the wall.
Okay.
Anyway.
Him and
Really
Yohan
impressive.
Alvarez won the NLCS and ALCS MVPs respectively, so claps for them. I said claps, not snaps.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you.
And Oliver Marmol, I believe is how you say his name, is the new manager for the Cardinals. He was their bench coach last season, and he is now the youngest MLB manager at like 35.
Am I wrong in equating the bench coach to like the assistant coach?
It was the assistant coach, like the one who's like directly below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then yeah.
All right.
The bench coach usually like they kind of help with like talking to the players, and then
They're like backup manager, right?
and then if the manager gets ejected, they usually manage.
All right.
So, yeah, assistant coach.
Okay.
It may help with like on field, like either like outfield drills, base running drills, stuff like that.
To me, he sounds like he's describing his assistant coach to me.
Yeah, that was the thing I equated it to. I just wanted to make sure I was right about that. Not spitting misinformation,
No, I mean that's pretty much all there is for baseball.
I've got a few things real quick.
Uh-huh.
First of all, predictions for the World Series. I've got the Braves in 6 games. Best of 7.
Braves in 4.
Sweep?
Sweep. I don't like Houston. I'm still petty about. I don't know anything about baseball, but Houston cheated, and I'm like, all right. Don't like them.
What you got for us, Haden?
Astros in 7.
All right, I like it.
It's gonna be a good series,
No, I absolutely agree. I think it's gonna be a really good series.
slugfest.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna hate it so much, but it'll be fun.
I think there'll be some good pitching in there.
Yeah, maybe.
You get like that Charlie Morton versus the whoever the Astros throw out there. I think that'll be a solid pitching
Framber
match.
Valdez, game 1.
I think that'll be a solid pitching matchup right there.
Yeah, it'll be something.
So, does this kind of like prove that the Houston Astros didn't face any punishment for cheating?
No, it just proves that they were good whether they cheated or not.
Honestly, it really only helped out like these role players. Carlos Beltran, who was like an aging veteran, he was like out of the league anyways.
Yeah.
Marwin Gonzalez was like a super utility guy who was like really good in the World Series and then was not good ever again. Well, really good in 2017 and then just hasn't been good since. But Yeah.
So it's kind of like they were already good to begin with, so
Right.
they didn't really need to cheat.
They didn't need to, but they did, which
They
kind of
did.
makes it feel more like a punch in the face to me. Honestly,
Yeah.
it makes it seem like they tarnish their reputation for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, like
there's always gonna be like those people. I don't think.
if they win this year, that's the caveat. If they win the World Series this year, I think absolutely it's kind of like a slap in the face.
It's not even the same Astros team though.
Right, but the core is still the same. There's still the same core.
Like after this year, if Correa leaves, like this isn't the same Astros team at all.
Right, I'm just talking about they have to win it this year, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. They can't win it next year. They have to win it right now.
I mean, they're still making it to the World Series though.
I know.
I think the whole narrative where the Astros are cheaters, and like still hating on the players is kind of outdated. Come on, let's do something new, guys. Let's make fun of the Yankees for.
Thanks for the context. I just heard they cheated, and I'm like, yeah, sure, don't like them.
Right. No, I mean, that's a completely fair assumption.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, and there's people, even like diehard MLB fans, who feel that same way that you do.
Especially Yankee fans.
Yes.
Well, Yankee fans, they're
even
like,
though. Let's not get into that.
All right, then. This is.
Yankees.
Yankee fans, I feel like are like.
Are you
Toronto Maple Leafs fans.
gonna say the Yankees cheated too?
Allegedly, the Yankees may have done some suspicious activities. They were kind of sus, you know?
Not gonna lie.
The Yankees were venting. They're the imposters among us.
Wow. Timely
Talk about
references.
outdated references.
No, that was very timely. I don't know what you're talking
That
about,
was
Shane.
really good.
Speaking of the Yankees, Aaron Boone agreed to a new 3-year contract with them to stay as their manager. Good move? Bad move? What do you think?
I don't think Aaron Boone's a difference maker as a manager. I think their roster is deeply flawed. Yeah.
Do you think they should have not extended him? Try to find a difference maker of a manager?
There's really not any really difference makers. I mean, they could have tried something new, but like, I don't know. Just that team.
Right.
I don't like the Yankees.
So good. Just to go back to the Houston Astros, there's pretty much if they win the series, it pretty much changes their entire narrative. It's
No.
like,
I don't think it does.
okay,
I honestly don't, because that's going to be cemented in baseball history.
Yeah, it is.
It's the narrative around them is not going to change. What is going to change is how people react to that, whether it's anger or it's like disappointment.
yeah,
I think.
I mean, everybody's rooting for the Braves right now
Right.
because, boo-hoo cheaters. But, like, the Astros are just really good.
They are.
That's the way I see it, because it's like
They're just really
if
good.
you cheated and then you go on like after you like they cut it out and they still win, it's just like, all right, so like the way I would look at it is, yeah, they cheated, but they were probably going to win anyway because
Right.
you have all these championships. Like, and you had a championship after the fact, so it's just like, well, they're good enough anyway.
Yeah, like in 2017, the year they cheated and won the World Series, they lost in the playoffs to the eventual World Series winners. 2019, they made it to the World Series and lost to the Nationals. In 2020, they made the playoffs again, and now they're in the World Series again. I don't remember how far into the playoffs.
ALCS.
They made it to the ALCS and lost to the Rays, who went to Game 7 against the Dodgers, who that Dodgers team is like one of the best of all time.
Yeah. Two things really quick that have to do with finances and the MLB off the field. The price of qualifying offers for MLB free agents, it dropped by 500,000.
It's what, 18 million now?
18.4 million.
Oh, yeah, it was 18.9.
I think that's something more to the.
That's next show. We'll talk about that.
You want to go into that more next show?
Next show, yeah. Because that's like more towards free agency.
Yeah.
that's
I was
like-
just going to comment. I think that has something to do with the decline of baseball's popularity and the sport hemorrhaging money.
It's been going up.
Has it been going up?
Offer's been going up.
Yeah,
past few
but
years.
it dropped now, and that's a worrying sign.
I mean, it went up. It used to be 15 million, and then it climbed up to 18.9 last off season, and now it's up to whatever.
Right. And one more thing real quick. I definitely want to get more into this after the World Series. Just want to mention it real quick. MLB lockout, almost a certainty at this point. They have to make a deal by December 2nd, and it's almost a certainty that they will not do it. It's another CBA negotiation. That's always a hot button issue in sports, no matter what sport it is. It's always tough to negotiate, and theirs expires December 2nd.
When was the last time did they ever have a lockout?
Yeah, they had a lockout, what was it, 96 last time?
96 or 94.
Yeah,
I'll
so
look it up.
they had a lockout then. 99% sure, almost a certainty it's going to happen again.
Like, as an NHL fan, trust me, I know
It happens in
lockouts.
every sport.
But
It
like
happened in
the
the
NHL,
NFL.
it's happened most recently, right?
It happened in the NFL in 2010 or 2011. I don't know when it happened in the NBA in 2012, I believe. So whenever the last CBA negotiation,
And then the NHL, they had like they had like half a season in like 2013, 14.
yeah, that's basically what happened with the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's just stuff like this happens in literally every single sport. This is
Yeah.
never an easy issue.
Because I know the NHL, they've had like 3 in the past 20 years.
Right, and it's only going to get harder and harder to negotiate because, I mean,
Billionaires against millionaires.
right, and somehow the billionaires
Billionaires are gonna win every time.
always get the public side for some reason. I don't know why. People should side with the players more often, but they always side with the billionaires as opposed to the millionaires, which is,
That's so odd to me.
it really is.
Because
I
they
don't
already
understand.
have the assets. Why were you supporting them?
Right,
It's like, paying your workers a little more. It's just like, you can afford it. Why wouldn't you?
I mean,
the CBA is a big thing. I want to get more into that next show, but I just wanted to briefly mention that here so everyone's aware of what's coming up. That's all I had for baseball. Hayden, did you have anything else?
no, I went over my things immediately.
All right. I want to dive into some NBA before we hit the top of the hour real quick. We'll do the predictions after the top of the hour, but I just want to run over some Ben Simmons stuff.
Of course.
Because Ben Simmons was really the only news outside of the NBA season starting, which we did forget to do last show. Apologies, that's my fault. We're going to do predictions later in like 8 minutes or so. Ben Simmons. There's a whole saga over the week. It started off on Tuesday. He was thrown out of practice and suspended from their opener on Wednesday for a contract detrimental to the team. He's back. He's playing. There was no trade yet. So, I mean...
So he's playing.
No. I will get to that, though.
What?
He was suspended for 1 game.
Oh, whatever.
Whatever. Adam Silver commented, saying he didn't know if there was something in the collective bargaining agreement to help with the Simmons situation. Adam Silver, commissioner of the league, he's saying this is a really interesting, complicated situation. I don't think there's anything in these documents that we can do especially for this. On Friday, another kink of the story, so this was after his 1-game suspension. He arrived and left the Sixers facility before doing his scheduled workout. He described back tightness to the Sixers training staff, but they did clear him for his workout. He did leave before his workout, though. So that's something new. Charles Barkley comments the 76ers should have suspended him longer than 1 game. That's what he said. Then back to the Friday thing. It came out a few days afterwards that he told the team on Friday that he was not mentally ready to play at his best level.
Fair enough.
And has not played since. He claims he's not mentally ready to play in the NBA. He's not ready to play at his best, so he's not playing.
I mean, with all the drama that's gone on this offseason...
I'm not going to lie to you. And I hate to do this because mental health is super important.
You think he's full of...
I don't think he is. I think he is trying to find excuses. Because I told you earlier, on Friday too, he complained about back soreness, right?
Yeah.
So first thing he tried from what I'm piecing together on this timeline, ouch, my back hurts.
Yeah.
I can't do this. When that failed to work, he said, something's wrong with my brain. I can't do this right now. And I hate to do this because I understand mental health is super duper important. And it's obviously tough, especially in a city like Philly with fans that are ruthless and relentless.
Ruthless fan base.
Absolutely.
That and like his teammates and like other people in the organization have kind of dragged him through the mud though too.
Actually, Embiid, the other star, he said, "Hatchet's buried. We're all good. We support Simmons." He said that. I forgot to write that down.
No, he did say that, but like that's after already like. I mean, he was not nice to him in the one interview at all.
Right.
He just made him sound like the worst teammate ever.
Yeah, and I really cannot stress enough that I really don't want to diminish mental health, but just the timeline of this, it's a little bit suspicious to me. You know?
It's just like you can't go back and forth. It's like if you're spent all offseason wanting to be traded, you got to commit. Like, you can't go back and forth. Like, you got to stick to one decision and just go with it. If you say you want to be traded, wait till you get traded before you play. Do not talk to anybody in the facility.
And that's what he did over the offseason.
And if you're going to, like, say, yo, I want to come back, I want to patch things up, commit to that decision. And it's just like this flip-flopping is just only making things worse.
I'm sure he was expecting a trade in the offseason, but when that didn't come, he was like, I don't want to lose all this money by not showing up. I'd like to get some money. And obviously this one thing has led to another, which has led to this situation. He's not mentally ready to play, so he's out indefinitely. There's no indication when he'll return. There's no indication if he will return. And it sucks because he really is a super talented player. Like, he is one of the best defenders in the league. He needs to develop a shot. Everyone knows that. But his confidence is shot, especially in Philly. I don't think he can play in Philly. That's the one thing that I think gives the mental thing some legs to stand on. I don't think he can play in Philly again.
Yeah, especially if you're having confidence issues, like
I think
cannot go back.
I think the Philly fans have broke him. I really do. And I think that gives his statement legs to stand on. I think, again, I kind of just said the opposite. I really did just kind of say the
yeah.
But I kind of said I don't believe him, but also
called me a hypocrite.
But Philadelphia, though.
But like at the same time, I know I kind of just said the opposite, but like he can't play in Philly. He can't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a problem, and he needs a change of scenery. But both sides need to be happy. The Sixers and whatever their trade partner is, and it's super tough to trade a guy like that because the other teams have all the leverage right now. They don't have to give up that much for him because he's not going to play. He's just taking up space.
And Jack Eichel should just...
They are in completely different situations.
Well, one's injured, but they're still pretty similar.
No. Ben Simmons is doing this to himself.
Oh, yeah, and Jack Eichel's just getting screwed by the organization.
Yeah.
But it's still a superstar player. I know I keep on bringing up the comparison.
There is a comparison there, but the reason they're not playing is not comparable.
Yeah.
It is a similar situation in that they both want to get traded and they're both in their prime and superstars.
Yeah.
But the reason why they want to get traded, not the same.
Yeah. One's more organizational, one's more self-inflicted.
Right. And I mean, there's nothing you can do about it at this point, honestly. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the Ben Simmons situation. And at this point, I would like to remind everyone that you are listening to Triple Threat on WXJM Harrisonburg 88.7 FM and WXJM.org, hosted by me, Jeremy, and my two co-hosts,
Shane
and
Haden.
Without further ado, I would like to jump into our belated NBA predictions.
Oh yeah.
What we will be doing for this, since none of us are super big NBA experts, I'm just gonna run through no particular order for me. I don't know if you did particular order in seating.
I didn't really do particular. I mean, it's like the top half and the bottom half.
Right.
Like...
We're gonna run through the conferences. So if you want to pull up the NBA conferences list real quick. I'm going to start in the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Just run through my list of 10 teams. So that's going to be including the play-in games with the 7, 8, 9, 10 teams.
Do you want to run through it, or do you want to do one quick give, like a little bit of thoughts among the group, and then?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm just going to run through my 10 teams real quick. And
Okay.
stop me any point.
I'll stop you if I disagree with you.
Okay. I got, in the East, I've got the Milwaukee Bucks.
I disagree with you. No, I do not. That's, I think, the easiest. One of the easiest.
Absolutely.
ones to
Yeah.
say.
I got the Brooklyn Nets, the Boston Celtics. No particular order.
Okay.
The Chicago Bulls, the Miami Heat, the Atlanta Hawks, the Philadelphia 76ers, the New York Knicks, the Washington Wizards, and the Orlando Magic.
Oh, so close.
What's the difference for you?
I just have the Pacers instead of the Magic.
That was the two teams I was going back and
Mhm.
forth about. So I mean, a lot of these teams, my play-in games, Wizards, Magic, Knicks, and either the Sixers or the Hawks, depending on if they figure out the
Oh wow, we had completely different playing games.
depending on if they figure out the Ben Simmons situation. I think that's too much distraction for a team to be top tier.
I think they're still a pretty good team.
No, they're still a very good team,
Even
but
without Simmons.
I think they get the 7 seed.
Okay,
I think the distraction is just going to be a lot.
fair enough. I had Bulls, Celtics, Wizards, Pacers as my plan.
That's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Did you have something, Shane?
I have finals predictions.
Oh yeah, we'll get to you later then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what was in what?
NBA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about something else. Okay. I had like another thought for that.
Right. So, I mean, if I had to, I mean, obviously the Bucks are going to be, not obviously, but I think the Bucks will be the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
I think the Nets will be the number 2 seed. After that, it's kind of a crapshoot between the Celtics, Bulls, Heat, Hawks, Sixers. I think all of those teams are kind of in the same tier.
I think the Knicks are better than the Celtics, but
I think all 5, 6 of those teams could get any order there.
yeah.
And then Wizards, Magic, last 2.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm gonna move on to the West if that's okay with you guys.
It's perfectly fine with me.
All right, so I've got Lakers, I've got Suns, I've got the Jazz, got the Nuggets, got the Mavs, got the Trailblazers, the Clippers, the Grizzlies, the Warriors, and the Kings. What do you think?
Is there a reason why you said the Warriors so late there?
I just forgot to put them in my list.
Got it. I was like, you kept going, and I'm like,
Nah,
when is he gonna bring up the Warriors? Okay.
I mean, the Warriors, they're good. I don't think they're a top 5 team. I think they're
in the league or
in the West.
in the West.
Because the West is top heavy.
The West is really good.
The West is top heavy. It doesn't have that much depth, but it's top heavy. I have the Warriors anywhere from 5 to 10. I think that's their seeding range.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the top 4 is pretty set with the Lakers, Suns, Jazz, and Nuggets.
I think
Not
the Warriors
not
could
exactly in
sneak
that
there, but
not exactly in that order, but
I think the Warriors could sneak in there.
I don't know. I don't think they're. I'm really high on the Jazz. I really love Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
If they can get him a nice if they can stay hot shooting in the playoffs, I see no reason why they can't make a run.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar with the Trailblazers
I mean, I
too,
feel like any of these teams could really make a run.
right? And I trust LeBron to figure it out. They start slow. That's pretty normal. They're a bunch of old dudes.
They are a bunch of old dudes.
They got the All-Star team from 2012 or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so I forgot. We disagreed on one team again. I can't remember who it was though.
It's probably the Kings.
It was the Kings.
Yeah.
Or the Timberwolves.
Yeah. So again, the Kings are just a team that I've had my eye on for a little bit. I really like De'Aaron Fox. He reminds me of a young, healthy John Wall. When he was good, before the Wizards paid him a lot of money.
Yeah.
They also got Buddy Hield, and they got a nice little developing core. It's nothing flashy that's there right now, but I think they have a chance of surprising some people. Now, if they make it, they're the 10, easy. They're the 10 seed.
I think either of our teams are the 10 seed. Yeah.
Right. I don't think they're going to make it past the play-in game, or definitely not past the first round. But I think they have some promise in there. I think they could scratch that play-in game. I think it's possible.
Did either of you have the Timberwolves make it?
Hayden did.
I did. He had the Kings out of the Timberwolves.
I just don't trust the Timberwolves. They have talent. They have Karl Anthony Towns. They have Anthony Edwards. I just don't trust them. They're very similar to the Kings in the fact that they have talent. It's just which one of these two teams is going to develop it first?
Yeah.
I think that's the question. That's my prediction right there. You wanna hit us up with some finals predictions?
Yeah, because I know next to nothing about the NBA, so I didn't feel comfortable making any statements on
Right,
it.
that's perfectly fine.
I know Giannis, LeBron, Curry. That's about it.
That's more than me.
You mean?
Up until early this morning when I did 30 minutes of research.
I was trying to do research and I'm like, this is too much for me. I'll ease my way into it. Anyway, I have the Milwaukee Bucks and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The favorite and the Cinderella story. Go Minnesota teams. Oh yeah. I saw that they could make it as the final team, and I'm like, all right, that's it. That's my team.
That sounds very Anaheim Ducks of you.
Yeah, you should have. Oh, you say me.
Oh, so you're admitting the Anaheim Ducks are a long shot, eh?
Yeah, I mean, we already knew that, but it doesn't mean it's wrong.
I mean, does Hayden know that?
Quack, quack, baby.
Quack, quack, baby.
So yeah, you guys can have your predictions. I can have mine.
Right. I'm not gonna. I'm just telling you that's a super hot take.
Oh yeah.
Great. I just thought you should know that.
Oh, I know.
Good. That's
If
what's important.
I'm gonna make a prediction about a sport I don't know about, why not?
Right. Hayden, what is your finals prediction?
My finals prediction?
Yeah, did you do one of those?
I didn't realize we had to. Give me 5 seconds.
All right, I'll go first then. I'll start with the East, because that one, I got the Nets. I'm assuming Kyrie Irving will return to play at some point. That is a factor we did not mention. Kevin Durant is good enough to carry a team to the playoffs on his own. I don't think it's arguable that he's good enough to take a team to a finals on his own. I don't think he could beat Giannis one-on-one, is the thing. Especially if Chris Middleton can step up. But, I'm assuming Kyrie will eventually relent and rejoin the team, and that will be the jolt of energy that they need, especially with a better depth. They have a much better depth now than they did last season, and I think that's enough to take them to the finals. Out west, I mentioned it briefly. This is going to be a hot take. I don't expect people to agree with me on this one. I have the Jazz making the finals.
Wow, you're that high on them.
I said that. I said I really love Donovan Mitchell. They have been so close these last 2 years. They could just not get over the hump.
Yeah.
The reason being their shooting goes cold. They have a perennial defensive player of the year in Rudy Gobert. They have a superstar in Donovan Mitchell. And if they can they have a really good three-point shooting team. If they can keep their three-point shooting going for the entirety of the playoffs, I see literally no reason why they cannot make a run to the finals. That's a big if. That's what they've been saying. That's very similar to the Trailblazers right there, except the Jazz can play defense, which is another reason why I pick them. Because they, like I mentioned, Rudy Gobert, perennial in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. That's not... They in a conference with the Suns, with LeBron James and the Lakers. I mean, you can never count out LeBron. Literally never. And also with teams like the Nuggets, with Jokic, and I'm assuming there's going to be a healthy Jamal Murray. That was a huge problem with them in the playoffs. Jamal Murray was out for the entire playoffs, which is why they couldn't advance past the Jazz. But I think the Nuggets, another one of those teams that could potentially make the jump. The top four in the West is gonna the top four when you get down to the semifinals in the West, the conference semifinals, which I'm assuming is gonna be Lakers, Suns, Jazz, Nuggets.
Yep.
Those are gonna be must-watch series.
Yeah.
No matter what the matchups are, those are gonna be must-watch series.
There we
Excuse
go.
me. Thank you, I got it. And I'm super excited for that. So though that is my NBA Finals predictions. Nets are gonna win, but
Where are the Nets again?
Brooklyn,
Oh, Brooklyn Nets. Gotcha.
in good old New York.
So, now I don't know who they're going to be playing out west. Doesn't really matter. Bucks and 4.
Bucks and 4,
Bucks and 4.
back to back, baby.
Back to
Back
back.
to back with the sweep.
Didn't sweep last year, but
No,
And
this
then-
year.
right, yeah.
And then next year, it's going to be Cade Cunningham and the Pistons. Just absolutely rolling over everybody.
Do you not even have like a guess in the West?
In the West,
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
What team is gonna get bulldozed? Do you think?
Bulldoze?
Yeah.
The Timberwolves.
If I had to pick, I would probably say the Suns.
That's a good pick. Rematch.
Yeah,
Rematch of the finals last year.
yeah. I like some of the guys on there.
No, they got a solid core. They re-signed a lot of players. Obviously, something they can build around. I think that's a very safe and solid pick. I see no
Random
problems with that
NBA question. Why does LeBron get so much hate again?
because he's good.
Good reason to get hated.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the whole Jordan comparison is what makes people angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like,
You
don't
nailed
you
it.
want that though? You want the new GOAT?
Mm-hmm.
Because like the hockey, like no one's complaining about Ovechkin about to break one of Gretzky's records.
Well, that's because the discussion isn't whether he's better than Gretzky.
Oh yeah.
The discussion is whether he's gonna break the record.
I don't know. It's just like, it's just weird to see that animosity towards like, if McDavid could break Gretzky's record, like I'd be all for it. But he's not on pace. He's not anywhere close to it.
Basically, one's a real sport. So that's the...
Hayden, you and I are about to throw hands here.
Damn. Damn.
You and I are about to throw hands.
Don't worry, I see those comments all the time on like MLB Twitter.
Yeah.
It's just, it'll always be like some like, I don't even know what, just some random NBA fan will be like, not a real sport. Even MLB fans do it to the MLB account now. It's funny.
It's awesome. I love that. As we reach the quarter hour, I'd like to remind everyone that you are listening to WXJM Harrison, WXJM Harrisonburg, 88.7 FM, and WXJM.org. This is Triple Threat. I am your host, Jeremy, joined by my two co-hosts,
Shane.
and Hayden.
Oh, sorry, I was admiring my good looks.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
No
What
doubt.
good looks.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm going to move on to football
What
now.
was that?
Don't worry about
We're
it.
just going to ignore all that, and we're going to move on to football. Start with the news. Devontae Adams, he was put on the COVID reserve list, which sucks because they play Thursday against undefeated Arizona.
Oof.
Arizona was going to get their first, not really, their second big test of the season with the Packers,
Who's their first big test?
the Rams,
Oh, yeah.
who they handled very nicely.
But they almost... it's football.
They didn't almost lose. They destroyed them.
No, I'm talking about the Vikings. Like, but the Vikings almost beat them. They're just whatever. It's football. Buffalo... We'll get into Buffalo later.
Eagles
Titans, actually.
Eagles
My bad.
traded Joe Flacco to the Jets because Zach Wilson was ruled out for 2 to 4 weeks with a ankle injury.
Wasn't Joe Flacco on there last year?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
to the New York Jets, baby.
Let's go!
Elite quarterback.
Yeah. So they traded him because better than whoever else they got.
You're getting
Goat
something for
Flacco?
Joe Flacco.
And
Goat
that's
Flacco.
not a good thing if he's your best option.
Go Flacco.
Go Flacco. Graham Gano, Giants kicker, said the Panthers put his career at risk by misdiagnosing his leg injury in 2018. It doesn't matter. They handled the Panthers this week. Let's go Giants. And last piece of news, real quick. We mentioned the Washington football team email thing last week in association with the John Gruden situation. The NFL said they were not going to release this stuff, the emails. Congress said, actually...
Congress?
Yeah, Congress.
The U.S. government?
The U.S. government. Congress was like, actually, NFL, I'm going to need you to release those documents. Those 650,000 emails. So...
Wow.
Yeah. They were worried about the Gruden stuff just being the tip of the iceberg and the NFL trying to hide everything else, which the NFL insists is not true. I don't trust them. But I'm glad Congress finally did something right.
Yeah. They stepped in on... Never mind, I don't want to get into it.
All right. Yeah, we don't want to get into politics, but way to go, Congress.
Way to go. You're exposing some bad people.
Yeah.
For once. Okay, no.
I'd like to get into the NFL recaps. I'm just running through games that...
We brought up...
Yeah, you know, you're killing it, man.
I'm doing amazing.
Speaking of... I know I touched... Like, I said Buffalo. I meant to say the Titans. Because, you know, how... I don't know what to think of them.
Right.
Would you like to recap them?
No, you can start with that game. Go for it.
I don't know what the score was, but I know they demolished the Chiefs.
27-3.
Yeah. Defensively, just shut them down. Patrick Mahomes is, like, injured or something.
I have...
Kneed in the head.
He got kneed in the head and his ankle got twisted around on the same play. I haven't seen reports of how bad it is. He's probably going to be fine. He cleared concussion protocol, so he doesn't have a concussion.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
NFL and concussions.
Yeah, but, I mean...
I'll do some research.
All right, thank you. But,
It's
the Titans.
They lose to the Jets, and then they go on to beat Buffalo and Kansas City.
Are the Titans the best team in the AFC?
The most...
Are the Jets the best team in the AFC?
Yes,
They beat the Titans.
They beat the Titans.
And the Titans beat the Chiefs and the Bills.
Well, so the Jets are the best team in the league.
So, Jets Super Bowl, baby. Let's go.
Let's go!
Speaking of those Jets, I mentioned earlier, Zach Wilson. He was hurt. The Patriots shellacked the Jets. 24. 54.
They wish.
54-13. Not even close. I'm sorry, Jets.
If there's one thing that's always constant, is that the Jets will forever be owned by the Patriots.
Absolutely.
Except for that one time, but Mark Sanchez. How is Mark Sanchez like one of the only Jets quarterbacks recently to ever like beat the Patriots?
Because Mark Sanchez is the GOAT. Have you seen him run into his own offensive line before? Such grace and beauty. He even fumbled the ball, too. It really was a Thanksgiving miracle. It happened on Thanksgiving. So.
Phenomenal.
Beautiful. That's poetry right there.
Do you know what else was beautiful?
What was that?
Seeing Carson Wentz throw the ball right to the other team.
Mahomes is expected to play in his next game.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to not play.
Against the Giants.
I know, and that's on Monday night, baby.
It's a Monday night.
That'll be right before this show.
With the Mannings.
Yeah, Manning cast.
With the Elis.
With the Elis and the Padens.
No, they're both named Eli now.
Oh, okay. But yeah, the Colts, they won a game. Congratulations to the Colts. There was a atmospheric river going right over Levi Stadium. They showed a graphic. It was super cool, actually. It was like back in science class. I highly recommend you look up atmospheric river things. It's super interesting. But that just meant there was a lot of rain. There was just a lot of rain.
True.
And the quarterbacks could not throw the ball. The skill positions could not hold on to the ball. And Carson Wentz handed the ball to a 49er. Carson Wentz, for the first 3 quarters of the game, thought he was a 49er. He kept throwing the ball to them, but they only caught it twice. One of them, maybe the best throw I've ever seen in my entire life. Trying to escape a sack. Tries to do one of those like
Shovel pass.
shovel passes at the last second. Right into the chest of a 49ers player. It was beautiful.
Yeah, after I saw that, I took a great nap.
He did. He
On
passed
the
out for
couch.
like 4 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours. But yeah, you get the idea. I was
Yeah.
pretty tired that day.
It was a thing of beauty.
15 minutes.
I like to
25, take it or leave it.
that was the Sunday night one. I'd like to jump all the way back to the Thursday night game and just comment on the Browns Broncos. Dearness Johnson is a beast.
Who?
Dearness Johnson,
Never heard of him.
Browns' third string running back, literally won the game for the Browns. He did not get tackled behind the line once. He pushed the pie. He looks so good. Against a good defense too, a good Broncos run defense. He racked up 150 rushing yards, 22 receiving yards, and on top of that, a touchdown.
Is Baker hurt or did they have a backup?
Baker was hurt, yeah.
So they had a
They
backup.
had
player.
Mr. Case Keenum.
Oh!
Yeah, Case Keenum.
Vikings legend.
Vikings legend, Case Keenum.
Let's go.
Yeah. So, I mean, he looks so
Not
good.
only do they have our quarterback, but they have our former assistant coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it worked for them.
Yeah, could work for the Browns too.
And I can't believe I didn't get to this sooner. But the Giants won another game. Let's go. Let's go. They beat...
What do you mean you didn't get to this sooner? You already mentioned it.
Yeah, but I didn't mention it enough. They beat the Panthers. The Panthers can't do anything without Christian McCaffrey, which honestly sucks because I think they're a really solid team.
What happened to Sam Darnold?
He lost his best weapon.
Yeah.
And then he got benched for P.J. Walker. XFL legend. P.J. Walker. It didn't matter. They didn't
Yeah.
score any more points. But, you know, Daniel Jones didn't turn the ball over, and that's what's important. The Giants won a game, and now they're tied for second place in their division with everyone but the Cowboys. Let's see. What else?
Cowboys have a bye?
They did have a bye, yeah.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, 200 yards. 200 yards. This man is the real deal.
That LSU team was stacked.
Oh, yeah. People were criticizing the Bengals for drafting Jamar Chase 5th overall instead of... not 5th overall, 3rd overall?
Pretty
Whatever.
high.
Pretty high, instead of Penei Sewell, who's on the Lions now. I think it's safe to say they made the right decision.
Yeah.
Maybe
You were right about
they
that
knew what
Bengals
they
team.
were doing.
Yeah,
Just maybe.
just maybe. I'm so glad it worked out for them.
Yeah.
It's awesome that it did. But I mean, they look so good. 200 yards. He's challenging Justin Jefferson for best rookie wide receiver performance of all time, other than Randy Moss, of course, because Randy Moss was incredible. All right.
Hayden could be better.
I could be better.
Would you like to talk about Matthew Stafford for a second?
Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford. They played the Lions, and the Lions almost won. That's not okay, Rams. You're supposed to be Super Bowl contenders. You can't be playing close with the only winless team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions.
I mean, to be fair, they almost beat Baltimore too.
To be fair, Matt Stafford, it was all part of his master plan
What was his master plan?
to win.
To win?
And did he win?
He did win.
So, I think his plan
They don't
worked
ask
out.
how. They ask how many.
It's true, they do. And how many is 6?
This many?
Yeah,
See,
Minus
1,
one.
5, 3, 6.
you nailed it.
Thank you.
The last undefeated team, the Cardinals, they're still undefeated. They walloped on the Texans. This week was like a big return revenge week. You had the Cardinals with J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins going against Texans, both former Texans legends. Rams, Lions with Jared Goff and Matt Stafford flip-flopping teams. You know, there were a lot of back and forth games right there, which is awesome to see, and I think it's cool that they were all scheduled at the same time. Tom Brady threw his 600th touchdown pass this week. 600. That is a massive number. 600 touchdown passes. To put that in perspective, I believe second place is at 535.
Do you know how earlier I was like, why are people complaining about LeBron so much? I realized, I can understand why, because I feel the same way about Tom Brady. You just get sick of it after a while.
He's been good for too long.
Yeah.
And I think he's actually regained his image now that he left the Patriots.
Oh, yeah. I love how much more open he is.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great comparison.
He's like, I'm the greatest of all time. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, it's awesome. But he threw a 600th touchdown pass. That's a lot of touchdowns. It's like 4,200 points. Or 3,600 points, because extra points or whatever. But that's a lot of points. Yeah.
I'm looking at the Cardinals' schedule, and it's just like...
They have a tough schedule, because they're in the tough division.
It's just like... I don't know. It's just the 49ers, they're so inconsistent, but like they could definitely beat the Cardinals once they get their defense together and they could stop having injuries. The Packers could definitely do it. I mean, not having Devontae Adams really hurts, but Aaron Rodgers could definitely do it. Panthers, if they get McCaffrey back, who knows?
Right. And when is the Panthers? Is that week 10?
That's like 3 weeks from now. November 14th. So in 2 weeks.
So if it's week 10, I might be 3 weeks.
It's about 3-ish weeks.
So McCaffrey might be back for that game.
Yeah.
And I think if he's back, the Panthers absolutely could win that game.
And then Seahawks, Russell Wilson will be back.
Yeah.
So the Bears.
No, you never know with the Bears. I don't think they're going to beat them, but they have a good defense, and Justin Fields could turn this light on.
It's not a cakewalk, so it's like they could be beat any week.
Yeah.
It's not like they're facing Houston. Like, you might as well have given them that win.
Right. One more thing real quick. As a Giants fan, Boston Scott is my worst nightmare. Boston Scott is an Eagles running back, and he started touching the ball again. And that's not okay. That's not okay. Because that means that he's going to play against the Giants. And if he plays against the Giants, that means he's going to beat the Giants. And I can't have him doing that.
What's the issue with Boston Scott? I've never heard of him.
I want you to look at Boston Scott's numbers.
Yeah.
And I want you to look at his numbers against the Giants and compare it against every other team he plays. Tell me when you get back. Boston Scott, the Giant killer, does nothing but beat the Giants. And it hurts me in my soul.
He has 44 carries for 222 yards and has scored 6 touchdowns in 4 games against the Giants in his career.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how many touchdowns he has in his entire career total?
6.
I think 7.
Okay.
He scored 1 this week. Yeah.
Your worst nightmare.
Yeah, I actually hate him.
I mean, rushing touchdowns, yes.
Also receiving. That is including receiving.
Oh, that doesn't include receiving.
I don't know if it does. It might.
Oh, 210 receiving yards. All right, yeah. So he's averaging over 100 yards all-purpose against you and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, it's rough. And it's only against the Giants. Not my favorite person in the entire world.
That's me.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true. This week was just a cool week in general with scoreboards. There were 3 safeties this week. It's a lot of safeties. One by the Giants, one by the Texans, one by the Bears. Only one of those teams won a game, though. That was the Giants, in case you were wondering.
Woo!
And there was also a scorigami this week.
Sure.
For those who don't know, scorigami is a completely unique score in football history. I believe that was the Cardinals-Texans game, 31-5. So that's 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks in a row with the scorigami, actually.
Cool.
That's all I have for football. As we wrap up the show, I would like to just say thank you to everyone for listening. This has been Triple Threat on WXJM Harrisonburg, 88.7 FM, and WXJM.org. I have been Jeremy, joined by my co-hosts,
Shane.
and
Haden.
good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening.
But like, who would win in a fight?
Goodbye.
Boston Scott or the old lady from Ratatouille?